everybody, Crystal Beaudry here with Crystal's Clean Kitchen. So we're doing a series right now for Valentine's Day, and this year and last year I've made so many different Valentine's Day recipes. So of course I put them all in a playlist, and that is going to be on my YouTube channel. Make sure to go check that out. In today's episode though, we are making a strawberry cream sandwich cookie. Now it is low carb friendly, it's keto approved, and it's gonna look like you spent a ton of time putting these together, but they're so simple to do. So what you have first is a butter cookie, super simple recipe, and then we're gonna be putting a strawberry cream cheese frosting inside of that, sandwiching 2 cookies together, and then dipping it in chocolate. You guys, it's so good. You're going to love it. Well, thank you so much for watching, but do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Here's all the ingredients that you are going to need for your strawberry cream sandwich cookies. Now, for the cookies themselves, we're going to start with 2 cups of some almond flour, 2 tablespoons of some coconut flour, and a half a teaspoon of some xanthan gum. Now, I got this from Thrive Market, but you can also get it at like Cub or Target, Walmart, but it was the cheapest at Thrive. Then we're going to be using some Celtic sea salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of Celtic sea salt. The reason why I always go with Celtic sea salt is because it has 82 essential minerals in it that is super good for your body. We're going to need 6 tablespoons of some butter. I always do grass-fed butter. And for our sweetener, I am going to be using some erythritol monk fruit mixture. I got that from Costco, and we'll need a half a cup of that. Now we are going to be using some allulose for the filling, but for the actual cookies, we're going to be using this. You could use any type of sweetener that you wanted though. That's totally fine. Then we need 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of some vanilla. Now for the filling mixture, we're going to be using some cream cheese, so some 3 ounces of cream cheese. And then we need some allulose, so maybe about a half a cup of that. And then we're going to be adding in some freeze-dried strawberries. Now the reason why we're doing that is because it's a lot less carbs and you'll still get that really strawberry flavor. Then we need 2 tablespoons of the heavy whipping cream. And that is just, we're going to use that to just thin it out. You don't need a ton of that though. Now we're going to be making our own chocolate dipping sauce for these cookies. So I'm using some sugar-free chocolate chips. I got these from Costco. And then I'm going to just mix in a little bit of butter or some coconut oil in with that to make it a little thinner. So first we are going to start with our 2 cups of some almond flour. Then we're going to add in our xanthan gum and our salt, half a teaspoon of xanthan gum, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and our 2 tablespoons of some coconut flour. Stir that up. Then we're going to cream our butter and our sweetener. So you want to add in your butter. Now you want your butter to be soft, but not melted. And our half a cup of the monk fruit sweetener. Then once the butter is nice and creamed, here's how it looks. Our egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Once that is mixed together, we're going to slowly add in our flour. There's what the dough looks like. Now I'm going to take some of this cling wrap. I'm going to put the dough in it. I'm going to kind of smash it a little bit. So I'm going to put this in the freezer for 10 minutes. It's going to cool it off, and then it will make it a little easier to work with. So while that is cooling off, we are going to be making our filling. So I have my 3 ounces of cream cheese already in there. I'm going to be taking some of my freeze-dried strawberries, and I'm going to just try to crush them as I add them in there. Now you can add as many as you want, depending upon how much of a strawberry flavor you're wanting. And it's also going to make that a really nice pink color as well. Now for your allulose, I put a half a cup of allulose in there. If you taste it and you feel like it's not sweet enough, then just add a little bit more. We're going to start whipping this, and then once we look at the consistency, we're going to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Now with my allulose, what I like to do, it does come pretty powdered, but I like to take it an extra step and put it in the blender and powder it just a little bit more so that it has no grit or anything like that in it. Scrape down the sides, and then also be looking at the color. If that's a good pink for you, then you can leave it. If you want it a little bit more, add some more strawberries then. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of the heavy whipping cream. Ooh, this is tasting really good. So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator until we are ready to use it. Now, if you can tell the consistency, it's a little thicker. It's not as creamy as like whipping cream. So I just took my dough out of the freezer. It's not perfectly frozen, which is nice. I'm gonna put it in between 2 parchment sheets. And then what I usually do is I put my hip on one of the sides of the parchment paper as I'm rolling it out so that it doesn't go everywhere. And then you want to roll it out to a fourth of an inch. Then you want to take your heart-shaped cutters and just like you would sugar cookies or something like that, we're cutting these out. And then I'm going to be placing this on a parchment-lined baking sheet. And if you need to put the dough back in the freezer for a few minutes, that's fine also. Then I'm going to bake these at 325 degrees for about 10 minutes until they're lightly browned on the outside. So I just pulled these out of the oven. They actually took 12 minutes, and as you can see, some of the sides are just lightly turning a little golden brown. I'm going to let these completely cool down though before we try to work with them. All right, so now we are going to be making the chocolate to dip in. So I'm going to just put about a teaspoon of butter. I usually use coconut oil, but unfortunately I ran out. And then I'm going to be putting this in the microwave in 30-second increments and then stirring it each time until it's completely melted. You do not want to overcook it though, because otherwise the chocolate will burn. So now it's time for the assembly. We have our filling. I switched containers for the chocolate because I wanted it to be a little bit deeper so that I could dip it in. And then we have our cookies. They're completely cooled off. Now we're going to build our sandwich. You just want to put some of the filling on the inside here. So you can either make this as a sandwich cookie or you could just use this as frosting. Either one will work very good. Look at this cute little cookie. Then we're going to take our chocolate and dip it halfway. This looks awesome. All right. Kind of curl it over. Then we're going to place it on a parchment-lined baking sheet, and we will be putting it in the freezer to cool down. All right, you guys, I just took these out of the freezer. They turned out amazing, and now it's time for our taste test. You ready, girl?
Yeah.
Hannah's going to try the one with just frosting over it. Oh, man. That's good. What do you think?
Good.
Now, you guys, these turned out amazing. You're going to want to try this recipe. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for some more great recipes. We'll see you next time.